Hey everybody, hope you all are having a beautiful day out there today. And I'm sorry if I sound a little weird. I am currently under the weather. I'm sick, so apologies in advance. But I did want to talk about some news that came out yesterday that was kind of concerning that I wanted to chat about today, and that is regarding HIDIVE. So if people don't know what HIDIVE is, it is one of the few competitors out there still in the anime streaming kind of platform side of things when it comes to going up against like Crunchyroll or something. So you have like Crunchyroll as an anime streaming site, you have HIDIVE as one of them too, you have Netflix still that does put out some anime here and there, but you know how Netflix is. It can be put out in such a, non-consumer friendly fashion in some sort of ways too. You have Amazon Prime, I think they still put out anime. They have an Amazon catalog in some sort of way still, but I don't know if they put out new ones in any kind of fashion. But still, Amazon is not very advertised well, or they don't have like big name exclusives and stuff like that. And HIDIVE has had some of the more big exclusives, I guess, outside of Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll has like a big bunch of the anime within the anime industry and stuff that does stream and everything, but HIDIVE has some too, and they have had some few good ones for exclusives as of recent. Like one of the more noteworthy ones as of recent was Oshinoko. That was streamed primarily on HIDIVE, which was really, really cool. So, for all the 5 subscribers out there that do have HIDIVE, that was a really cool thing there. And I am one of those 5, so it's ironic that I clown on them, but I am one of the few HIDIVE subscribers as of right now. I probably should cancel it because other than Oshinoko, I haven't really watched anything on there at all. Talking about HIDIVE a little bit, so let me jump over to this article that I have pulled up here. So HIDIVE recently put out some information saying that they were going to be ending service in certain areas outside of North America starting on December 14th, which is a bit concerning because there is a lot of people out there that do consume anime and that do want to consume anime and enjoy the medium in a great fashion like that in different parts of the world, and whether that be the greater parts of the world that have big well-known countries or whatever it may be, but there's also people out there in those smaller, not known, those smaller market countries that do want to consume anime too. Like I said, there's people all around the world that love anime and want to consume it in some sort of way, and people out there definitely that want to do it on the legal route side of things and don't want to jump over to piracy and set sail on the 7 seas and everything. But they're making it a little bit hard now because HIDIVE is one of the very few Crunchyroll competitors out there still, and the fact that they're ending service again is a little concerning because you see that a lot in companies that do go under or do, end up going in bankruptcy or whatever, or just shut down in general. And the fact that they're doing that, I know it's not a set in stone thing and it's not confirmed or anything like that, but it's kind of like one of those very few steps that do happen before some of those shutdown things end up happening for some of those companies. And I hope that doesn't happen, and I'm hoping it's just speculation on my part and other people's parts or whatever. But again, it's one of those things that does tend to happen before the full shutdown happens, or it's a gradual sort of thing. They shut down service in these certain areas or whatever, and then it continues into more areas, and then they shut down some of their catalog, or I don't know, it just kind of shrinks slowly but surely and then ends up in the inevitable state of shutting down eventually, especially with Sony, Crunchyroll having such a stronghold monopoly-wise within the anime industry. It kind of shuts out all the competitors out there and everything. So again, I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but according to the article, it says that HIDIVE has not specified those areas that they are going to be shutting down that service in. So let's read the article just a little bit here. So HIDIVE modified a listing on its support page on Monday to state that the service will no longer be available in certain areas outside of North America starting on December 14th. Full access to HIDIVE's library will be available on the service's website through December 31st. The company did not give a specific reason beyond that. It is a decision that has been made after constantly evaluating the HIDIVE offering and its area of operation. There was a little update kind of around HIDIVE's reasoning behind why they are doing this, and it says HIDIVE provided Anime News Network with the following statement. In light of the strong demand for anime content around the world, we are constantly evaluating the HIDIVE business and are strategically focusing our operations on the fast-growing global markets that represent approximately 98% of our current customer base. This move will unfortunately result in the disruption of service for some customers outside of our major markets. We are working directly with those customers to manage through this transition that they have there. So yeah, so it sounds a little bit, a little weird. It sounds like something that they just are saying to save face in some sort of way, but at the same time too, I guess it might make sense from a business standpoint, because why are they going to throw resources and put all this effort into some of those smaller markets that might not make up a big percentage of their viewership or their subscription base or whatever it may be, or it just might not be as beneficial or whatever. There's not many out there that use it in that sort of way like that. But also at the same time too, I'm like, well, how are you going to grow your market base or whatever, those small markets? How are you going to turn those small markets into big markets or whatever when you're just completely shutting out their service in general and don't give them much of an option? And now they're going to only have the option of going to Netflix or going to Crunchyroll or whatever it may be. I mean, Crunchyroll being one of those big options out there, and it just kind of pushes more people to have to go to Crunchyroll. Or if those people don't want to go to Crunchyroll because they don't trust them because of those, a lot of the shady stuff that they've gotten themselves into recently, then it pushes people to set sail to the seven seas or whatever and become people that pirate anime, unfortunately. And yet they kind of wonder why people end up pirating. They're like that Pikachu meme or whatever, when they're like, oh yeah, like we're shutting down service in all of these areas or whatever, and we're leaving the only option to a potential shady option. And then they're like, why are people pirating stuff? And it's just a Pikachu surprised face. Again, it's a kind of sucky thing for those people out there in those areas that are going to be having their service stopped, unfortunately, for HIDIVE, because again, you're very limited on options. And then one of those options is a very shady one in Crunchyroll, because they recently had that settlement situation where they potentially sold consumers, the customers' information, private information, to third-party companies out there, which is again a very, very big invasion of privacy, and sharing it out there to people that you don't even want to have that information. You didn't sign up to have that information put out to all of those different companies, and you're pushing people to have only potentially that as your option to watch anime legally, and that it's shady. People aren't going to trust that, and they're not going to want to turn in that direction. Therefore, again, like I said, they're going to turn to piracy, and that's not a good thing. They kind of have a valid reason for doing so. I'm not kind of encouraging people to go out there and pirate and everything, but with very little options out there, how are you going to watch anime, this medium that you love, that you want to consume, but there's very little options out there, and one of the only options that you do have is a very shady one that might steer you wrong or might give out your information or whatever new thing that they might do, God forbid. But again, if we take their word for it, they say 98% of their customer base is going to be remaining within the areas that they're going to be continuing service in. So it's not like super impactful, I guess, based on the percentages that they're saying. But at the same time, too, that 2% could mean thousands and thousands of people potentially that are going to lose service, that are going to have to find another way to watch anime. And, maybe they don't have availability or whatever on Netflix or Crunchyroll or whatever it may be, or something like that. Or maybe it's a little bit too expensive for them because HIDIVE was the cheaper option or something along those lines. Or, they don't want to go to Crunchyroll because they don't want to be affiliated with Crunchyroll for the reasons that I stated previously. It's just going to be a tough time for those people in general when it comes to trying to watch anime, trying to find other ways how to do it. They're going to be pushed to piracy, potentially pushed to watching it on anime illegal streaming sites. We'll see how things play out for HIDIVE in the near future. Hopefully at some point in the future they have the ability to expand and not continue to limit their content or limit their service to only certain areas, a smaller and smaller amount of areas or whatever. And hopefully they expand their catalog and expand the amount of exclusives that they have, just so they could be a further, more strong competitor to Crunchyroll. So therefore Crunchyroll won't have such a stronghold on the anime industry when it comes to, the monopoly that they kind of have going right now. So it can push Crunchyroll to be a better streaming platform and be a better platform for consumers in general. Because again, if these competitors just continue to dwindle and dwindle and there's nobody left other than Crunchyroll, then it gives them no incentive to continue to improve their platform, and it might turn out to where they just put out a shitty product, and that's something that we don't want at the end of the day there. And for people that don't want to even be on a Crunchyroll subscription or be affiliated with them in any sort of way, we just want more options out there for us to watch anime legally and not force people to seek it out in an illegal fashion in some sort of way, like going on illegal streaming platforms or pages or whatever, or seek piracy in some sort of way. Again, we don't want that. We don't condone that in any sort of way, but you're not giving people many options at this point if something like this is happening, where they are limiting your service to only certain areas and cutting it out from smaller market areas. And if they continue to do it more and more and limit it even more, and maybe, God forbid, if HIDIVE goes down and it shuts down in the future, the options become smaller and smaller out there. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. What are your thoughts on the situation with HIDIVE limiting its service to a smaller amount of areas now? Do you think that HIDIVE is in trouble potentially. Again, this is not saying that HIDIVE is for sure in trouble and it's going to shut down or whatever, but it is not a great sign with this sort of step that they're taking right now and this sort of move at the end of the day. But again, let me know what you guys think down below. Are you guys concerned? Do you think that this is, just a harmless thing and this isn't affecting too many people, so it's not that bad or whatever? And are you guys and gals out there concerned about the hold that Crunchyroll currently has within the anime industry and the fact that people might be getting pushed more and more to piracy in some sort of a way? But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Like I said, again, give the video a like if you guys can. I greatly appreciate it. And also make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. That'd be amazing. And also hit that notification bell down below to get notified for whenever I do upload a video, go live, or do any fun stuff like that. But I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed rest of your day, and I will catch you all later.